Hi, fourth grade. For Number Corner today, you will need your Number Corner book and a pencil. We are going to be completing page 20. And after you watch this video and have your page completed, you need to make sure you take a picture of the page and submit it to the assignment in your homeroom teacher's course. Here we go. Here is our problem for today. Coral has 12 containers of beads. Pearl has 16 containers of beads. Each container has 5 beads in it. How many beads do the girls have in all? A container is like a little box right here, and beads are these little things we use to make crafts. So let's imagine that Coral has 12 of these and Pearl has 16 of these. And we know that each one has 5 little beads inside of it. Let's go to question letter A. What is this problem asking you to figure out? We need to figure out how many beads the girls have in all. So to answer this question, what is the problem asking you to figure out? The number of beads that the girls have in all. All right. Now, to figure out how many beads they have in all, we need to write an equation for this problem. Remember, in an equation, we need to make sure that we have 2 different things that equal each other, okay? So, we can use a letter to stand for the unknown quantity. The unknown quantity is the number of beads they have. So, for the letter, we can use a B for beads. Okay, so now we know that Coral has 12 containers and Pearl has 16. We need to figure out how many containers they have together first. That is the first thing we need to figure out. So when we see these parentheses, that means you have to do that first in the problem. All right, so we will solve that first. But then we need to figure out how many beads are in all of those containers or in each container. So that keyword each tells us that we need to multiply to say that, well, we have this many containers and each has 5 beads inside of it. And that will give us the total amount of beads. We are going to use the space to solve the problem. We're going to show all our work, including numbers, words, or labeled sketches. And when we are done, we will write a complete sentence at the bottom of this page to show the answer. So before you watch the rest of this video, I would like you to pause and try to solve this equation on your own. If you have a strategy and you're ready to go, I want you to pause and solve it on your own. Remember to do whatever inside the parentheses first. If you need help, I'm going to show you 3 different ways that we can solve this problem. The first way I'm going to show you is our place value strategy. So the first thing we need to do in for all of these strategies is first we need to figure out how many containers they have all together. So if we add 12 and 16, we get 28. They have a total of 28 containers. So now our equation turns into 28 times 5, and that'll give us the total number of beads. So when we use our place value strategy, we are going to split up the 28 into 2 different numbers to make it a little easier. We're going to split it up into a 20 and an 8. But when we do this, we have to make sure that we are multiplying each one by 5 and then adding the products or the answers together. So first I'm going to do 20 times 5, which is a lot easier for me to solve. When I do 20 times 5, I can skip count by 20. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So 20 times 5 is 100, but then I need to remember I also need to do 8 times 5. And 8 times 5 is, well, we can skip count by 8s. 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40. We get 40. All right, and we're not done yet. We need to make sure we add these two products together. And then we end up with 140. So to solve this equation, we could say that B, the number of beads, is 140. All right, that's our place value strategy. Now let's try our doubling and halving strategy. So let's go back to our equation. We need to solve what's in the parentheses first. So we will do 12 plus 16. We know that's 28. We end up with 28 times 5 equals B again. But this time we're going to do it a little differently. In the doubling and halving strategy, you can double one of your numbers to get to a friendly number. So in this case, I'm going to double the 5 to get to 10 because I know how to multiply by 10 a lot easier. But I can't just do 28 times 10. I have to take half of 28. So I'm going to divide this by 2. All right, so I doubled one number and I'm taking half of the other number. You have to make sure you do that. All right, so when I get half of 28, I end up with 14. And now 14 times 10 is a lot easier for me to solve. 14 times 10 is 140. I just add that 0 from the 10 to the end. And my answer is 140 equals B, equals the number of beads. I can also use a break apart strategy here. So instead of doing 12 plus 16 first, instead of doing the 28, I can write my equation a little differently. I could say, well, I know I need to solve 12 times 5. This is the number of coral's beads. All right, I'll figure out how many beads coral has first, and then I'll figure out how many pearl has. Pearl had 16 containers, so 16 times 5. And once I figure out how many beads the girls had on their own, then I can add both of their beads together. All right, so solving 12 times 5, I can skip count by 12 5 times, or I can use our place value strategy again. I could say, all right, I'm going to split this up into a 10 and a 2. 10 times 5 is 50. And 2 times 5 is 10. So I end up with 60. All right, so we found out that coral has 60 beads. Now let's find out how many pearl has. You could do the place value strategy again, or you could skip count by 16, or you could show a ratio table. There are so many different ways to do this. I'm just going to use our place value again so we can practice that. So I'm going to split up this 16 into a 6 because that's how many we have in the ones place. And then that 1 is in the tens place, so that's telling me that I have 1 10. I need to solve 10 times 5 first, and then 6 times 5. And I end up with 50 plus 30. 50 plus 30, I get 80. So pearl has 80 beads. Now what I need to do is add both of their beads together. So I'm going to take the amount that coral has, which is 60. And I'm going to take pearls, 80. When I add those together, I get 140 beads. No matter which strategy you chose, make sure that you write a complete sentence to show your answer. The girls have 140 beads in all. All right, fourth grade, make sure you submit a picture of this to your classroom teacher's course. Nice job today.